Hello everyone, this is Jotto and welcome to the biggest announcement for TGT since it was unveiled. It's from Gamescom. We got tons of spoilers, we got a new mechanic, some more information about some ranked rewards. It's a big update. Now, something funny about this was I was actually going to do a spoiler show today anyway, but I wanted to wait for the legendaries to be spoiled from the vote. And let's just say that if I already have too many cards to talk about, it's like 20. Now, as usual, unlike the set review, I'm going to be brushing over these quite quickly. So if I think it's worth talking about, I will, and if it really isn't worth talking about, I won't. Whereas in the set review, we kind of go into depth a little bit more. So yeah. Anyway, so we'll start with the news post first. First things first, the joust mechanic, which they're calling it joust, but then it's not actually a mechanic. It's strange. It's like the if you have a dragon in your hand type thing. Basically, there's a bunch of cards which have reveal a minion in each deck. If yours it costs more, you get a bonus. Now, this is called Joust by Blizzard, but doesn't actually have a keyword in game, which is a bit bizarre. But sure. Anyway, next big update. Highest rank bonus. Now, this is basically your rewards at the end of the season are based on the rank you got highest this season. So if you finish at 15 but you started at 12, then you get the 12. Now, in terms of bonuses, depending on where you finish, these are the kind of examples we've got here. This is for rank 17. We've got 20 dust, the card back, and a golden common. Not bad for rank 17. Then at rank 5, we've got 5 dust, which is kind of funny, but yeah, golden common, another golden common, and a golden epic. Now this is like 7 or 8 packs worth of dust here, maybe a bit more than that actually. So just on disenchant value, let alone crafting value. When it comes to crafting value, if you actually use some of these cards, that's worth 15 packs upwards. So yeah, very, very good system. I can't wait to see what you get for getting a legend. This is something we've been asking for ages, and I think is probably the single best thing they've unveiled so far. Now, before I get on to the Gamescom cards, because those use Joust a lot, I'll be going over the cards that I was going to cover in today's spoiler show anyway. So for once, I'll be going in chronological order. Starting with Zadarnassus Aspirant. 2 mana, 2/3, Druid Rare. Battlecry, gain an empty mana crystal, and Death Rattle, destroy a mana crystal. So, it's a kind of wild growth. It's a wild growth that only applies when it's on the board, because when it goes away, you lose it. Now, this is a slight nerf to Piloted Shredder, which is quite funny, because Piloted Shredder, if you get the Soul Shredder, you just lose a crystal. As far as Druid goes, though, I think Ramp Druid, I could see running maybe 1 Aspirant, or maybe 2, plus Wild Growth. This will not replace Wild Growth, you need the persistent effect. I think Ramp Druid might run it as a 2-drop, just to have more Wild Growths in the deck, and I think that's about all the play it's going to see. I don't see this in Combo Druid or anything like that, so yeah. I could be wrong, but I think it's just a Ramp Druid card. Wraithguard. Now, Wraithguard is a 2 mana, 4/3 demon in Warlock, with whenever this minion takes damage, it also deals damage to your hero. So basically, it will probably deal 3 or 4 damage to you. 5 if you're unlucky, and more than that, ugh. But anyway, the point is, 2 mana, 4/3? It's a 2 mana, 4/3! That's some insane stats. That's some insane stats you got there. I remember there was some people talking that it's not that insane because 3/2s kill it. Yeah, but if a 3/2 doesn't kill this thing, it's killing 4 drops. Oh, you're gonna get your face beaten in by this thing, that's for sure. I think this is a very good card. I think this may be the time of Zoo once again, as we have Flame Imp, Wraithguard, Imp Gang Boss as the 1, 2, 3 punch. Something insane, by the way, Wraithguard actually kills Imp Gang Boss and the token. It's insane. Yeah, this card is amazing. This goes along with, they seem to be making a cycle, maybe a cycle, or just in general, of 2 mana creatures that have drawbacks but large amounts of stats, so Totem Golem. Totem Golem is better than Wraithguard because 4 HP matters more and the drawback is less insane. But the drawback does not matter as much as people are giving credit for. It's a 2-mana 4/3. Yeah, this is going to see a ton of play in Zoo. Also in Demon Lock, because you can get it from Void Caller. Alright, last from this small batch of cards is the Shadow Pan Cavalry, a 5-mana 3/5 rogue card with combo plus 3 attack. So it's a Bolt of Fist Ogre if you combo it, it isn't if it isn't comboed. Arena, yes. Constructed, no. I think that's all I need to say about that. It's too combo dependent for Constructed, and even then it's not fantastic. And for Arena, it's awesome. I like it. Not sure if it's on the same level as Bolt of Fist in terms of picks in Arena, but it's good. Master of Ceremonies, neutral epic, 3-mana 4/2, Battlecry. If you have a minion with spell damage, it's a 6/4. Wow. That effect is strong. You know what this is? This is the Blood Knight for spell power. This is the Blood Knight for spell power. Now, where does this come up? Shaman, Kobold Geomancer, Blood Mage, Azure Drake. That's about it. Just going over that leads me to believe, like, Blood Knight was playable before because there's a bunch of low drop Divine Shields, whereas in case of spell power, not so much, which means I don't think this is very good. It's okay in Arena because it's 3-mana 4/2, that might be a 6/4 at some point. So yeah, it's decent. Okay. Next batch of 4. Druid of the Saber. 2-mana, 2/1 Druid common with choose one. Charge or +1/+1 and stealth. I love this card's design and I love it for Arena. Absolutely love this thing for Arena. It's either a 2-mana... It's basically either a 2-mana 3/2 with stealth, which is amazing in Arena already. Amazing. Or it is a Beluga Warrior, which is possible. And in Constructed, I don't think it's a thing, but it's okay. I don't think it's good. But I think it's fine, because the 3/2 is a small body regardless, and it's not a case of it being weak, it's more of a case of it's just not what you want to be doing in Druid. But I could be wrong. In season play, I think the card is decent in terms of power level, and I like the versatility. So Druid of the Saber, cool design card. Druid are getting a lot of well-designed cards this set so far. Crowd Favorite, 4-mana 4/4 Epic, with whenever you play a card with Battlecry, a card, not minion. Strange wording there. Actually, I guess... there are weapons with Battlecry. Yeah, there are weapons with Battlecry, so that's why that comes up. Gain +1/+1. Now, you are not an Undertaker. You are not an Undertaker. I actually really don't like this card. I think in Arena it's fine because it's 4-mana 4/4 that gets bigger over time. Not for Constructed. And the reason it's not for Constructed is because it's a 4-mana 4/4 that can become a 5/5, maybe. That can maybe become a 6/6, sure, and then maybe a 7/7, and then he has Big M100. But the main reason I don't like this is because 4-mana 4/4s are bad. That's basically why I constructed. Bash. 3-mana Warrior Common, deal 3 damage, gain 3 armor. So this is basically... Okay, alright, just going over. This is the exact, almost, the exact same card as was a priest card before, which I'm forgetting the name of. But yeah, it's basically it was removed because of Drain Life. Basically, it was a strictly better version of Drain Life, so it was removed. Lightning Helix type effects. So anyway, Bash, deal 3, gain 3 is very, very good in my opinion. Very, very good in fact. Yeah, I think gain 3, deal 3 is very good. I'm not sure how good it is. It doesn't kill 3-drops anymore. It might kill a 3-drop. It helps go 4-drop. It'll kill any 2-drop. That's good. I think it's good. It'd be better if it wasn't in Warrior, because Warrior is one of those classes that gains 1,000,000 life anyway. So it's like shield block gains 5, but then this gains 3, but deals 3. Yeah, I actually think it's good. We'll have to see though. Also, the card I'm thinking of is Penance, by the way. Penance was the priest card, which dealt 3 damage and healed your hero for 3, and it was very, very good when it was in the game. Okay, last card out of this batch. Brave Archer, 1-mana 2/1 Hunter Common. Inspire if your hand is empty, 2 requirements for 1 ability. Deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. This is terrible. This is really bad. It's a worse Leper Gnome. Basically, Lepronome is guaranteed to do 2 damage. Brave Archer is not guaranteed to do 2 damage because you need to have your hand empty. On one side of things though, if you want a million 1-drops, sure, play Brave Archer, but it's worse than Argent Squire and it's worse than Lepronome, so at the moment I'm not really looking at it, I think it's bad. It kind of looks a bit like it's ripped from Brave though, which is kind of funny. Anyway, so, moving up to the Gamescon cards, as there are tons of them. Now, this is where they showed off a lot of the Joust stuff. Now, Joust is a sub-mechanic, and as a result has a legendary that shows off the Joust mechanic. The Skeleton Knight, which is a legendary. It is a 6-mana 7/4 with Death Rattle. Reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, return this to your hand. This is awful. Wow, this is really bad, because Big Game Hunter. At first I thought, that's cool, it's cool. You can play it in a control deck and grind someone out. Big Game Hunter annihilates this thing, and this is what I mean. So, at first I was like, it's not too bad, it's all 6 mana, they kill it, sure, and you replay it. If it flips. But you replay it, and then I realized, you spend 6, they spend 3, they kill it. And then you get lucky and you get the roll. You play it again, and then they trade. And then, say you get lucky again, you play it again. So that Big Game Hunter took away 2 of your turns. And it didn't even take his entire turn. It was turn 6. Or maybe even 7 if you went first. So you're telling me that your opponent gets access to, if you really think about it, if they went first, they get access to an extra 12 mana because you played Skeleton Knight over and over and over again. And then you play Skeleton Knight one more time and it doesn't actually defend you and then you die. Oh, this thing gets destroyed by Big Game Hunter. It's actually ridiculous. I mean, I know 7 attack creatures get destroyed by Big Game Hunter in general, but this is a really bad beats case in this case. So yeah, I really don't like the Skeleton Knight. Maybe it'll be good if Big Game Hunter gets nerfed or in some super grindy deck that plays a million Big Game Hunter targets. But I don't think it's a good card in general. 6-drops are very, very competitive and I don't like the Skeleton Knight. Edric. Is it Edric? Yep, Edric the Pure. Now, Edric the Pure is a 7 mana 3/7. Interesting stats there. Paladin Legendary with Battlecry. Change all enemy minions' attacks to 1. Now, this is a weird card. On one side of things, Elder Peacekeeper's effect is very, very powerful, but on the other side of things, how many creatures do you need this to hit to be useful? 3? I mean, if you hit 2, it's really good, I think. So, I guess 2. The question is it worth playing this in Paladin? I think the answer is yes. You can play this with Kodos, just like over multiple turns instead of on the same turn, which is a bit of a drawback. I think it's playable. It's not on the really, really high side playable, but it's playable. And that's all it needs to be, really. Argent Lance. Paladin Weapon, 2 mana 2/2 with Battlecry. It's a rare. Battlecry, reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, it's a 2/3 weapon. Okay, so this is where my evaluation on Joust becomes interesting, because I think Joust is a cool mechanic. It's basically random, but you get to control the randomness based on the matchup. That's cool. And it will come up in later cards as we talk about them. However, my sort of assessment on Joust is it good without the Joust trigger? In this case, yes, 2 mana 2/2 weapon is not good, but it's fine. And a 2/3 weapon for 2 is very good, so it's a good weapon. The thing is, Paladin has a gluttony of weapons with high durability. So you play your Argent Lance, and then you can't play Muster for Battle, and then you play your Cold Hammer. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it's fine? Question mark? I'm gonna say it's okay. I don't think it's very good because of the weapon gluttony issue in Paladin, but I think it's fine, and that's all I'll say about it. It does give you turn 2 removal in Paladin, which is a really big deal and might actually cause it to see play. 2 attack is not a lot nowadays, though. Like, 2 drops have 3 HP usually nowadays, and 3 drops have 4 or 3, so it's not killing much. That's the issue. It will probably not kill as much as you're thinking it will. Armored Warhorse, 4 mana, 5/3, rare, neutral. Battlecry Joust, that's just what I'm going to call it. If yours costs more, gain charge. Interesting. So this looks very powerful. 4 mana 5/3 with charge. Yeah, it looks good. The problem is that if you don't get your Joust trigger, it's really bad. Which leads me to believe this is really bad. Now, in Arena, I can maybe see it, but even then I don't think it's fantastic. It's very good with charge, but if you don't get the trigger, it's very bad, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't think it's good. Now, moving on to a card which I think is very, very cool. Tuskar Jouster. 5 mana 5/5 rare paladin card. Joust. Restore 7 health to your hero. Now this is where things get interesting, because I think this is a very powerful card. Now at first I was thinking, isn't this just a worse version of Anti-Keelball because it's random? Then I realized Anti-Keelball has a problem where it's not very useful in certain matchups. However, Tuskar Jouster is a 5 mana 5/5 that only gets the trigger against aggro decks because they don't have high drops. So, well, 60% of the time, if you think about it in Paladin, you just have Minibot, even Minibot Knife Juggler. That's pretty much all of your low drops. The rest are spells, like Muster is a spell, True Silver is a weapon. So, when it comes down to it, you only have 2 low drops. Which means that the chances of you winning a Joust against a aggro deck is very high, maybe 80–90% in some decks. Which means this is most of the time against aggro, which is when you want the healing, at 5 and a 5/5 with restore of 7 health. So I'm going to say good. I'm going to say it's a good card. Definitely good in Arena. That seems to be the punchline of the set. But yeah, it's definitely a good card, I think. I don't know how much constructed play it'll see, but I'm definitely going to advocate for it, and I think it might see a decent amount. Master Jouster. Why do they keep putting Joust in the name? At first I was like, is it Jouster? Because I feel like I've read this a couple times. No, they just keep using the name. 6 mana 5/6 rare. Battlecry Joust and gain Taunt and Divine Shield. So it's a Sunwalker with 1 extra attack if your Joust trigger goes off. I'm going to say bad and constructed because it's a little situational Sunwalker. Arena, I think it's decent because it's a situational Sunwalker. It's worse than Sunwalker, but it's still a decent card in Arena. A bit below the curve if you don't get the trigger, though. Fairly mediocre, but okay. Gadgetan Jouster. 1 mana 1/2 common neutral with Joust +1/+1. So it is a Zombie Chow if you get the trigger. The problem is, if you have 2 Jousters in your deck, what happens if you reveal the other one, and then you feel a bit like an idiot? So, I am actually just going to say, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good at all. I think it's the worst Zombie Chow in the decks I want to play it. Something to note, by the way, what happens when the minions revealed at the same cost? Does it just redo them so it never happens? I don't know. But anyway, the point is that Jouster is not better than Zombie Chow in these control decks, because the problem is that you need the 2/3 more than you care about the drawback, and it dilutes your jousting pool, so to say, being a 1-drop. Mukla's Champion. 5 mana 4/3 Beast. Common with Inspire. Give your other minions +1/+1. This is an Arena card that's not very good. It's okay, and it's not playable and constructed at all. If it gave itself the buff as well, it would still not be that good, but it'd be okay. The reason is because it's basically a 7 mana 4/3, the buff stuff, and it's the worst it's the worst Defender of Argus ever. So yeah, that's my take on that. It's really bad Defender of Argus. Alright, 5 more cards. Ancestral Knowledge. 2 mana Shaman common. Draw 2 cards with Overload 2. We've been waiting for a Shaman draw spell for a long time. And it's not very good. I feel like they should cost 1 mana. Maybe that's too good, actually. Yeah, Overload is not the same as mana. It's close, but it's not quite. Maybe 1 Overload? I don't know. I think this is well balanced. I just don't think it's fantastic. I'm going to say it's playable as straight draw, though, because I think maybe replacing Mana Tide with it, and just, you could maybe put in 2 of these into a deck that was running Mana Tide instead, and just replace a Mana Tide and play something else and play it later in the game to draw. Because I think the draw matters more than the overload drawback. This will require testing though. The mana cost is hefty with the overload, so that's a big drawback. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to pass on this one, and we'll see later on the set how I evaluate it in the actual set review. Alright, Bolster, 2 mana, Warrior, common, give your taunt minions +2/+2. What's up with the taunt sub-theme in Druid in this set? We had this and we had the weapon as well. I don't think this is good. +2/+2 to usually one creature is not good in the first place, and that is, yeah, it's just not good. Mark of the Wild is not good, Bolster isn't good. That's the way I'm looking at that. It'll probably almost never get 2 buffs, and it's just not good. Burgle, 3 mana, Rogue, Rare. Add 2 random class cards to your hand from your opponent's class. This is basically Thought Steal, and it's not good in Rogue. I don't think it's good in Rogue at all. They have Sprint for straight draw. They want Rogue cards because Rogue cards synergize together. They don't want the opponent's class cards for straight draw. They already have enough draw power. It's, yeah. I think Rogue's in a good place right now, and I think Burgle is just not what the class wants to be seeing, to be honest. I mean, they already have the card draw. They need something to do with it. Injured Cavaldier. Small Blade Master. 1 mana, 2/4, rare, neutral with Battlecry. Deal 3 damage to this minion. This is why I called it a Small Blade Master. This is not just a Small Blade Master, this is an awful Blade Master. It's terrible. Wow. Alright, so these are the arguments I've heard about this. Basically, it's a 1 mana 2/1 with base health of 4. The arguments I've heard is Circle of Healing on turn 1. I'm like, yeah. And then they play a 2/3, and then you're really sad because your Circle of Healing guy with an extra heal kills their 2-drop and dies to the 3-drop. Okay, you can heal it, and if they don't kill it on turn 1, you can heal it on turn 2. Yeah, it doesn't normally happen, and if you play it on turn 3, you can heal it, and then you get a 2/3 for 3. Yeah, this is a bad card. Injured Blade Master is at least a 4/7 when it's healed. And yeah, I think Injured Cavaldier is awful. In my opinion, it's just a bad card. Gormok the Impaler, 4 mana 4/4 legendary, the last card we will review today. Battlecry, if you have at least 4 other minions, deal 4 damage. That is never gonna happen. That will never trigger. This card is useless. I have never seen a situation where you have 5 minions on the board and you are not winning already. The amount of win more this card screams is just ridiculous. I'm going to say this is awful and should not be played in Arena or Constructed because it's a 4 mana 4/4. I guess if your choice is a Millhouse, Mana Storm, and Low Walker, you might as well pick it. But it is not a good card. It just isn't. You're never going to get 5 minions on the board anyway. And that's the main issue. So anyway, I'm going to say that's bad. So the main standouts for today were things like Tuskar Jouster, Argent Lance maybe Ancestral Knowledge, we had Bash maybe, and besides that, Wraithguard's a big standout, and that's about it. Maybe Darnassus Aspirant. This set hasn't been too high on the power level so far, but there's definitely been a little bit of extra things which are going a bit too far in my opinion, but then the rest of it hasn't been fantastic. Well, let's see. This is definitely a perfect set for Arena, though. If you like playing Arena, you're going to like the Grand Tournament. Almost every card revealed so far has been awesome in Arena to play with or against. But anyway, thank you all for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you have any feedback, put it in the comment section below if you just want to yell at me for saying my opinions. But now, this is Jotto, signing off.